FPS campaigns. They don't just make you feel like a badass, they're stories you get lost in. Whether it's insane shootouts or mind-bending plots, these 20 campaigns are the best of the best. Let's dive right in. Battlefield 3 isn't just about massive explosions. It has a gripping narrative that ties it all together. You play as Sergeant Henry Blackburn, a U.S. Marine caught up in a high-stakes global conflict. The plot involves secret missions, covert ops, and a tense race against time to prevent war. What's brilliant about Battlefield 3 is how it mixes action with storytelling. One moment you're piloting a fighter jet, and the next you're on the ground fighting through a war zone. But it's the personal story that really draws you in. Whether it's dealing with betrayal or trying to make sense of the chaos around you, the action is non-stop, but the stakes feel real because you care about the characters. Black Ops gets into your head. The first game is set during the Cold War, where you play as Alex Mason, a soldier trying to stop a Soviet plot involving mind control and nukes. It's got one of the wildest plot twists in FPS history. Then Black Ops 2 ups the ante, jumping into the future with a storyline that's not only about stopping a villain, but also about the impact of your choices. The missions are a mix of stealth, futuristic combat, and explosive action. Whether you're fighting off enemies with futuristic drones or battling in urban warfare, the pacing is relentless. But what stands out is the way the narrative weaves together history, politics, and personal choices that shape the game's ending. Far Cry 3 isn't just an open-world shooter. It's a story of survival and madness. You play as Jason Brody, a guy stranded on a tropical island, trying to save his friends from dangerous pirates. But what really makes Far Cry 3 stand out is Voss, the unhinged, chaotic villain who delivers one of the best speeches in gaming history. The island is your playground, and the game lets you approach missions however you want. Whether it's taking down enemies stealthily or going in guns blazing, it's all up to you. But as you uncover the island's dark secrets, the game gets deeper. It's not just about surviving the pirates, it's about facing your own demons and the crazy world around you. Metro Exodus takes you on an unforgettable journey across post-apocalyptic Russia. The story follows Artyom, a survivor of a nuclear war, as he sets out on a mission to find a new home for his people. What makes this campaign special is the way it blends survival horror with deep storytelling. The game isn't just about combat, it's about making your way through a broken world, with stealth, strategy, and resource management. The atmosphere is haunting, and the characters you meet along the way give the game emotional weight. It's not just about surviving against mutants, it's about hope, family, and rebuilding in a world that's barely hanging on. Dying Light takes the zombie genre and gives it a refreshing twist. You play as Kyle Crane, a man sent to infiltrate a city overrun with the undead. But what makes this game stand out is the parkour system. You're not just running from zombies, you're jumping across rooftops, climbing walls, and using the city as your personal jungle gym. During the day, you're scavenging, completing missions, and fighting off zombies. But when night falls, the game changes completely. The night brings terrifying creatures that will hunt you down relentlessly, making every decision feel like a life-or-death situation. The game blends action with survival horror in a way that keeps you on edge the entire time. Crysis Remastered is a game that redefined the FPS genre when it first launched, and the remastered version brings it back with even better graphics and gameplay. You play as Nomad, a soldier with a high-tech suit that gives you superhuman abilities, speed, strength, armor, and cloaking. The game has you battling through a lush jungle and an alien invasion, combining tactical gameplay with straight-up combat. The standout moment, though? The open-ended nature of the levels. You can approach objectives any way you want, whether it's sneaking past enemies or going full assault with guns blazing. The suit gives you the freedom to create your own playstyle, and the game rewards you for creativity. Doom 2016 brought the franchise back with a vengeance. It's fast, brutal, and relentless. As the Doomslayer, you're on a mission to stop the demon invasion on Mars. There's no deep, complex plot here. It's all about mowing down demons in the most satisfying ways possible. The combat is fast-paced and aggressive, with a wide variety of weapons and combat moves that make every battle feel like an intense experience. The design of the levels, the fluidity of movement, and the satisfying glory kills make Doom a pure adrenaline rush from start to finish. Bioshock Infinite is a masterclass in storytelling and gameplay. Set in the floating city of Columbia, you play as Booker DeWitt, a man on a mission to rescue a girl named Elizabeth. But what starts as a simple rescue mission turns into a journey that challenges your perception of reality. The game blends shooting with a rich narrative about power, religion, and the consequences of choice. The relationship between Booker and Elizabeth is one of the best in gaming. It's emotional, powerful, and adds depth to every moment. And the world of Columbia? It's one of the most beautifully designed settings you'll ever experience. Wolfenstein II is all about kicking Nazi ass in the most over-the-top ways imaginable. You play as B.J. Blazkowicz, the man tasked with taking down the Nazi regime in an alternate history where they won World War II. The story is insane. It's filled with crazy characters, epic battles, and jaw-dropping twists. But what makes this game stand out is the emotional depth. Blazkowicz is not just a soldier. He's dealing with the consequences of war, his relationships, and his own demons. The combat is intense, the weapons are ridiculous, and the narrative will have you hooked from start to finish. Half-Life 2 is a classic for a reason. It introduced us to the world of Gordon Freeman, a scientist who becomes humanity's last hope against an alien invasion. The story unfolds in a dystopian world where Earth is under the control of the Combine, an alien race that has enslaved humanity. The game blends mind-bending physics puzzles with intense combat sequences. It's not just about shooting, there's a real sense of immersion in the world, and the narrative is told through environmental storytelling and interactions with characters. The G-Man and the mysterious plot will keep you questioning everything until the very end. Halo 2 was the game that elevated the Halo franchise into the legend it is today. You play as both Master Chief and the Arbiter, an elite Covenant warrior, in a dual storyline that ties together the fate of humanity and the alien Covenant. The game expanded on everything we loved about the first Halo, massive battles, epic vehicles, and intense firefights, but added a compelling narrative with twists and turns. The rivalry between Master Chief and the Covenant leader, the Prophet of Regret, keeps you invested throughout, and the multiplayer was revolutionary for its time, making Halo 2 one of the most iconic FPS campaigns ever. Modern Warfare redefined the modern military shooter. In the first game, you're fighting through iconic battles against Russian ultranationalists and preventing World War III. But it's Modern Warfare 2 where the story truly takes off, an all-out war across the globe with one of the most memorable villains in FPS history, Makarov. What makes these campaigns stand out isn't just the jaw-dropping action or incredible set pieces, it's the characters. Soap McTavish, Captain Price, and Ghost become more than just soldiers, they become icons. The plot is full of intense moments, from stealth missions to all-out warfare, and it never lets up. F.E.A.R combines the best of psychological horror and tactical shooting. You play as the Point Man, a member of a special forces unit sent to investigate a supernatural threat, an eerie, ghost-like figure named Alma. What makes this game stand out is its unsettling atmosphere. The horror isn't in the monsters, it's in the way the game makes you feel, especially with the creepy supernatural events that unfold as you progress. The combat is slow and deliberate, and the AI is some of the best in the genre, making each firefight feel intense. And just when you think it's all about the shooting, the game hits you with deep psychological horror and mind-bending twists. Bulletstorm is pure, unfiltered fun. The game is all about taking down enemies in the most creative and over-the-top ways possible. You play as Grayson Hunt, a mercenary stranded on a planet and out for revenge. The gameplay is fast and brutal, with an arsenal of ridiculous weapons and the unique skill shot mechanic that rewards you for creatively killing enemies. Whether it's kicking them into spiked walls or shooting them into the air and blasting them mid-flight, Bulletstorm is about making every kill spectacular. The humor and chaotic gameplay make this one of the most fun FPS campaigns you'll ever play. Portal is unlike anything else on this list. It's a puzzle game wrapped in an FPS shell, but the mechanics are brilliant. You use a portal gun to create dimensional doors and solve puzzles in test chambers. It starts off simple, but quickly ramps up with challenging, mind-bending puzzles that will make you rethink the laws of physics. Portal 2 takes everything up a notch, expanding the story with hilarious dialogue from the AI, GLaDOS, and introducing new gameplay mechanics. The humor, narrative, and clever puzzles make Portal one of the most unique FPS experiences ever. Singularity is a hidden gem. The game blends time manipulation with intense combat in a way that's rare in FPS games. You play as Captain Nathaniel Renko, a soldier sent to investigate a mysterious island where Soviet scientists were conducting experiments. The twist? You have a time manipulation device that lets you control time itself. You can freeze enemies, age them into dust, or even reverse time to make objects and enemies appear and disappear. The unique mix of time travel and shooting mechanics makes the game feel fresh and engaging, with a plot full of twists that keep you hooked. Prey isn't just an FPS, it's a psychological thriller with incredible depth. Set aboard a space station overrun by an alien species, you play as Morgan Yu, a scientist trying to survive and uncover the truth behind the outbreak. The beauty of Prey is the freedom it gives you. You can approach situations however you want, sneak past enemies, hack devices, or go in guns blazing. The enemies, known as Typhons, are unpredictable, and the atmosphere is tense. The plot is filled with mind-bending twists, and it makes you question everything you thought you knew about reality. Cyberpunk 2077 had one of the most anticipated launches in gaming history, and while its journey wasn't without bumps, the campaign is undeniable. You play as V, a mercenary caught up in the dangerous world of Night City, a sprawling metropolis where corporations rule and the streets are full of chaos. The narrative is filled with tough decisions, memorable characters, and an incredible world to explore. The combat is dynamic, with a mix of gunplay, hacking, and melee action. It's a story about technology, power, and survival in a world on the edge of collapse, and there's no shortage of moments that will keep you on the edge of your seat. The Fallout series is all about choice, freedom, and survival in a post-apocalyptic world, and both Fallout 4 and New Vegas deliver unforgettable campaigns. In Fallout 4, you wake up in a ruined Boston to search for your kidnapped son, but what unfolds is a massive journey involving factions, exploration, and moral decisions. Fallout New Vegas takes a different approach with a more focused narrative. Set in a post-nuclear Nevada, you play as a courier caught between competing factions. Both games let you shape the world around you, and the decisions you make impact the future of the wasteland. Titanfall Titan combat. From unforgettable stories to heart-pounding action, these 20 campaigns have set the bar for what FPS games can be. Whether you're looking for complex narratives or straight-up action, there's something here for every FPS fan. Which of these campaigns is your favorite, or did we miss any you think deserve to be on the list? Let me know in the comments below.